Welcome to the Real TFC podcast, where we educate and give different perspectives on local real estate trends from business owners, professionals, and others as we navigate the ever-changing world of real estate. I'm your host, Chris, joined by my co-host, Michelle, as we dive into the twists and turns of the complex real estate world. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing well, Chris. How about you?
I'm good. Hey, you just came from back from a trip, right? Where'd you go?
We went to Cuca Lake.
Okay.
Spent 4 days there with a group of friends, and then we moved over to Erie, went to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Spent 4 more days there. Visited some relatives and then headed home. We took the camper, so it was a camping trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, you take the RV. That's awesome. So everyone had a good time?
Oh, great time.
The weather was good?
For the most part.
Yeah.
We had some rain.
When you're on vacation, the weather.
But for the most part, yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's always good. Well, so I have a trip coming up, and I got to get this off my chest. We've got a trip coming up going to Disney World. And I don't know if you've ever been to Disney World and what it takes to actually plan for something like that. Because, I mean, with 4 kids, fast passes, meal planning, the flight, all that kind of stuff. And then add on top of that, we have my brother and his family and my parents who live down that way, just trying to coordinate with all them. Man, talk about overwhelming. But, I got something that someone that's coming on to the show today that I think can help with all that. Take the pressure off.
I believe
Take
so.
the headaches away. And you know what that is? A travel planner, a travel agent, right? So I think if having someone like that to help me navigate through a crazy trip like Disney World would just be so much better.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Yeah, because everyone's, when do you want to do this? When do you want to do that? I mean, I just want to go. Just get me there.
Yeah, because they could coordinate, a travel agent can coordinate for everybody and get you all on the same page.
Yeah. Well, at least I hope so. Yeah. Well, let's bring on, we got a special guest today who's an expert in that type of field, right? Maybe she can answer and help me out.
Okay.
All right, let's bring her on.
All right, sounds good.
All right, welcome to the show. We have Danielle Moreland with us, a travel advisor. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So real quick, tell me the name of your company that you're part of.
So I'm with Lawler Classic Travel. We're here in Winchester.
Okay, awesome. And how long have you been a travel advisor?
Going on 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
I do.
Okay, you must for 3
years.
years.
I do. Yes, I do. I love it.
Okay, good. Well, before we dive into the whole travel agency planning, advising realm, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, family, anything you want to get into?
So I originally grew up in Chantilly. I'm married now for 15 years, and we have 3 kiddos. Yeah,
Congrats.
Thanks. We live here in Stephen City, and got into the travel realm because I love to travel.
Don't we all?
I know. My husband and I traveled a ton when we were dating. We actually were engaged on a cruise ship and got married at a destination location. So I've done it all, and I love it.
Yeah, it's like destiny. So what kind of got you interested in it? Just because you were doing it? You're like, oh, you know what? I've done this so much. I feel like I'm an expert. Let me help others.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of answered that one for you.
Yes. Thanks for that.
Are you seeing any kind of particular trends? Like in real estate, we have trends that happen throughout the year. But are you seeing like people like going to this location more now, or is it pretty consistent that they all like going to the beaches? What are you seeing for trends?
So travel trends really are the type of travel, to be honest. It's
what do you mean by that?
Group travel is a huge one. That is a thing that people love to do with their friends, love to do with their family. It's multi-generational as well. So people like the grandparents take the children who take the grandkids. So that's a huge trend right now.
Okay. So the trends are not necessarily location. It's more about how they travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I kind of just want to be my family.
Yeah.
Don't have to bring my friends and all that. But no, it's a good time. Except for Joel. I like to bring Joel.
Well, getting to the group travel, when you have like a group of people, are there a lot of destinations that offer perks for certain types or size of groups?
Oh, good question.
Because I know there was a resort that I went to with a group of people several years ago, and we got a lot of perks because there was a group of 14.
Yes.
that was included. So I guess you would know about all of those and
Yes.
be able to put all that together.
Yes. Cruising is a huge one. That's one that a lot of perks are given when people cruise with groups. But most resorts offer some kind of groups, incentives. So if it's freebies or an additional, maybe a cocktail party for free, I mean, there are group travel is a huge blessing right now for travel because we were in such a lull with COVID and people really want to get those groups in there. So yeah, a lot of people are offering perks just because the groups are so popular.
Yeah. Okay.
When you say groups, what kind of size are we talking about? Like 10 people? Has to be at least 10?
So
usually?
usually 8 to 10 is your
8 to
start.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got a family of 6, so I need to have 2 more
Yes,
kids.
bring 2 more.
Okay. All right. Got it. So
I'll go.
Yeah, we'll come.
Yeah, there we go. We got my 8. So when you're putting some of these plans and trips together, is there anything that you like to learn about the client to help them navigate their planning?
So I do ask them a lot of questions up front, likes and dislikes. That's my first question. What was your favorite trip? What was your worst trip? What did you love about it? What did you hate about it? That's a lot of information in just that quick conversation.
Yeah.
So that'll help me kind of figure out the type of traveler they are.
What kind of answers do you typically get? Is it like, I love alcohol, love the beach?
So yeah, or things like, are they foodies? Do they prefer their hotel? Some people are like, I don't care about the hotel. I really just care about the location. Some people are like, I love the hotel, but I really, I love food. That's my main concern here. I'm in this country or I'm at this resort for food. So it's kind of figuring out what kind of traveler they are.
Oh, that's a very good point. I didn't think about the foodie part. So for this year, have you been coming across any top recommendations on where people are, to send people?
Yeah, the Caribbean stays at the top of the list.
Oh, it's top of mind.
A lot of people love the Caribbean. And I get a lot of Europe, to be honest. That
Really?
one
Really?
has really spiked because I think with, again, I'll bring it up, the pandemic and COVID, people really realized their bucket lists weren't able to be fulfilled because they weren't able to travel. So people are really pushing that Europe to the top of their list and people are booking Europe like crazy.
Well, I mean, for cost, I know it's probably totally all over the place, but going to Europe versus the Caribbean,
I mean, it can be all over the place, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I did quote a client, a trip that she wanted to do piece by piece, visiting different places in Europe.
Yeah.
And I ended up putting her on a cruise instead because it just was more economical for her to do that and see 6 ports versus twice the expense to do it piece by piece, flying into different locations. So I can work within a budget, and really that's what I ended up doing for her is kind of bringing it down, lower than her budget was.
Yeah,
And
well,
worked out.
that's always a good thing. Something about being on open water just doesn't really, that would be like, you want to learn about me? I don't want to be on open water.
Okay, good to know. Good
Cruise
to know.
would probably be out of the picture for me. I'm curious, for the Caribbean, what are some of the destinations there that you like to recommend to folks?
So I'm a huge fan of Sandals Resorts. So
I love them.
Sandals and
Yes.
Beaches Resorts. They are a huge, a huge asset to the traveler because they give you so much. They give you so much for your money. The locations are incredible, and that's I mean that's a huge seller for our
Yeah,
agency.
we've actually got Turks and Caicos beaches coming
Do
up
you?
next year. Yeah.
Guess what? I'm leaving on the 2nd of September for Turks.
Do you
I'm
do
going
you have
to
a group of 8?
beaches. So I
Because if
don't.
not, I could help fulfill that.
No, I'm actually going on a FAM trip. So it's a familiarization trip for
I was gonna
travel
ask
agents.
you that.
Yes. So I get to go. I have not been to beaches. I have been to Sandals. So I'm very excited to see. This is our top selling beaches resort. So I'm really anxious to get there and see what it's all about.
What, Turks and Caicos?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been there a couple
heard.
times. It's really amazing. So hold on. Familiarization trip.
Yes.
So is that a perk of being a travel agent?
absolutely
Okay.
is.
All right. You know what? Podcast over.
You're
I'm
done.
becoming a travel agent.
Yes, it is.
Done and done.
So I pay for my flight, but Sandals gives us the stay for free, which
wow.
is lovely. But, we get to see all the amazing.
We're in the wrong industry.
I know, right?
So we get to do site tours. We get to experience, basically being a consumer because you don't walk around with a name tag on or anything like that. You're there just as you would be on a trip. So people don't really know you're a travel agent. So you do get to experience kind of like a secret shopper type.
Oh, I could
wow.
blend right
Nice.
in.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're on a schedule that you have to. Do you
I
have to do
yes.
certain things?
4 days, and we have to do certain things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa,
Okay.
pump the brakes now. Schedule. Okay. All right.
It's
I probably
still
could turn
in a
it down a
beautiful
little bit.
tropical location,
Right,
so I'm okay
right.
with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know we're going off a tangent here, but tell me, like, when you say schedule, like, what are you doing while you're there?
So site tour is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
So you're
and
going to
eating the food. I mean, all these tough things
yes,
that you got to fit
it's
in
terrible.
with one day.
It's awful. Somebody
Yeah.
has to do it though. But seeing all the different types of rooms, because at the different resorts, sometimes there's 20 different types of rooms or more, depending
Yeah.
on the resort size. So they want to show us, each of the rooms, what they have, so that when Michelle's calling me and asking me questions, I can say, okay, this is what I think would work well with you. So I can take pictures and videos, and then I have all that for when she books that room, I can send her those pictures and videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
I got to let that soak in, but we got to keep moving on here. What tips would you have for someone traveling, to stay on a budget or, stay under budget, like you mentioned, without sacrificing the experience?
To be honest, I'm going to do my plug here. Use a travel agent. I mean, really, if you have a budget,
good.
we have so many, so much information at our fingertips, I should say, to be able to keep you within that budget and be able to find a location that fits that for you guys.
Awesome. That's good to know. And can you share maybe some hidden secrets or hidden gems of destinations that travelers might not consider or think about?
Yeah, I have two. I'll piggyback on the Sandals. So we have a location in Sandals. It's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which a
Okay.
lot of people
Haven't
have
been
never
there.
heard of it, but it is another Caribbean location. They just opened. So that is a hidden gem because a lot of people haven't gotten there yet, and people love that Instagram worthy, let me get there first. So, and the second one is the Galapagos. That is a huge location that has kind of blown up. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but that is another one that kind of creeped up on people on their bucket lists.
Where's that at?
So it's the Galapagos Islands. It's private islands, and it's incredible. And it's one of these places it's known as the Forgotten Island. So the only way you can get there are small cruise ships, and Celebrity Cruise Line is one of the cruise ships. That we end up
Oh, man.
booking a lot of. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Very good. Now, is that an all-inclusive place, the Galapagos?
No, it is not.
Okay,
That
that's
is
where
yeah.
With the kids, I the last thing I want them to see is leave a bunch of food on the plate that I just spent a lot of money on.
Right.
So I like the all you can eat because
Yes.
if they don't finish it, it's all
No, the
included.
Galapagos are get off and do excursions and get back on your ship. So that's
Okay.
where you're seeing, animals and wildlife and experiencing the actual island.
Okay, so let's say I get enough guts. I want to go on to the cruise to get to the Galapagos Islands. What if I change my mind? I'm like, I just can't do it. Travel insurance.
Yes.
Do you recommend it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't give packages without a quote in there. And I actually have a waiver that if you decide to decline that, then you have to sign the waiver. With COVID, with the latest Delta incident that just happened with all them flights that were canceled, it's just too risky. And you guys are investing a lot of money in these trips. It's a lot of time and effort to work hard for this money. So definitely it's a have to have.
Yeah. So would travel insurance, is that different for the actual traveling or versus like what you get for when you get on a plane, the flight insurance or whatever it's called? Is it the same thing?
Yes. So I can actually give you a package price for that. So
Okay.
there's a company we use called Allianz, and I can package the entire price. So if Michelle was taking a cruise with flights and a hotel and a rental car, I can package all that together in one price for her. She pays one time, everything's covered.
Okay. My experience with flight insurance hasn't been the greatest.
No, it
So-
can be a struggle. Yes.
Yeah. So travel insurance, that's why I wanted to make the distinction between, travel insurance that you're talking about, then also insurance that covers for the flight.
Right.
Not going to get into a fight with the airlines, but it wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. So when you go on your familiarization trips, I mean, are you going by yourself? Can you take family?
No family,
Okay.
but I do
Or can
go
you-
with
can
other
they pay to
agents.
go?
No.
Okay, so you
Not
go with
usually.
other okay.
Now I'll stand corrected here. The ones that I'm going on lately, the Sandals ones, you cannot. Some of them do, but I think they'd rather you be there kind of working and but again, it might sell the spot if you were able to bring your family. So the ones I have gone on, no, but I have heard there are some out there that allow family.
Now, if you're paying for your flights, and that's fine. I mean, since you're the contractor, that's a deduction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's nothing.
It just keeps getting better and
I
better.
know.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, you see why I'm doing this now,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tour houses, tour the Caribbean.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Uh-oh.
All right. Well, might be making a career shift here shortly. So there's been, you're talking about having to go on your own, but you need to go with others. But if folks were traveling on their own, I guess it's an increasing thing. What recommendations do you have to make it, still safe, and what recommendations would you have for someone flying solo?
Yeah, so solo travel is huge. That has become really big. And actually, a travel agent, again, we can research the destinations for you. We can, make sure that it is safe. But also for solo travelers on their own, make sure they're letting their families know where they are. Make sure that they know where the consulates are, things like that, embassies in other countries when they're going, emergency numbers maybe for another country if you're not familiar. But Norwegian Cruise Line, which is wild, another cruise line for you.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
But they actually have space specifically for solo travelers now. So like when I know you cruise, but you have to usually pay double occupancy in any room. Even if you decided to go alone, you're paying for one or for two. So Norwegian kind of has the edge on this, and they've created rooms where solo travelers, they can go for one person pricing,
that's
which is
nice.
huge.
Yeah.
So, and they actually have a lounge for solos. So you if it's getting this big in the industry that a cruise line is doing this, it's definitely gaining popularity.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, singles cruise is what it sounds like.
Yeah, kind of
dating
solo.
game.
Yeah,
We won't get into that.
that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. So you've talked about a lot of the benefits of, using a travel agent versus going independent, booking it on your own. Are there any particular things that you also want to bring up, to be benefits for using a travel agent or advisor?
Yeah, I mean, I have touched on a lot of them. I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest one is, our knowledge in the industry. For instance, I did do a fam trip in Punta Cana where I had quoted a client, a resort, actually saw the resort, walked through it, did my thing, found out it was not a good pick at all. It looked perfect on paper. Online, it was gorgeous, but I just knew it did not fit my traveler. So that is a huge plus to doing these fam trips and having this experience, plus relationships with these resorts, with these suppliers. We have names and telephone numbers to general managers at resorts. That's huge. If something were to go wrong or you wanted to do something extra special, I have that contact, which I think is great. It's that relationship.
Right.
Yeah, in real estate, we know all about
Yes,
photography.
relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, relationships
Yeah.
too, but we know
Relationships,
about how
yeah.
photography can make houses look so much better.
That's true, right? Yeah.
What they
So-
really are. You got really good
Yeah.
photographers when that
Yeah.
happens. Okay, so that's all good stuff. One last question is, you're a contractor, just like real estate agents. We have to go out and we have to find our clients and customers. Where are you finding yours?
To be honest, social media.
Yeah?
I mean, that is our biggest drive. Yeah. If you can get a TikTok and an Instagram and a Facebook, that's definitely
doing-
driving my business.
Doing
Yeah.
paid ads and getting,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
podcasts, hopefully.
Yeah, and
That's
podcasts.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when it shows up, make sure you share it. Let everybody know about
yeah.
it. And I'm sure repeat business, and referrals are all, we work
Love
a lot.
that,
Yeah,
yes.
we work a lot off of that. So
Yeah.
great. Well, for our listeners that are considering going on a trip and they want to use a travel advisor, how would they get in touch with you?
So I have a website, www.danielle-travels.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I don't have the handles right off the tip of my tongue, but I will definitely give those to you guys. But yeah, and if anybody's interested in looking into becoming a travel agent, you are.
Yeah, I am now. Add it to my list.
Finding a host company is the biggest thing, the host agency. My agency is incredible. Kathy and Bob Lawler are the owners, and they've been in business for over 20 years. And really, I clicked with them and we meshed well. So if somebody were to look into this, that is huge. Find a host agency that you click with, because that will be able to, grow your business and you'll be very successful. I definitely thank them for everything they've done for me.
very similar to real estate.
Yeah.
I got to ask, is there only a limited number of travel agents that they like to have in this area? Because do you own this area?
No, I do not. No, there's a bunch of agents here. And
Is there?
really, I think we're all in different stages of life and things
Yeah.
like that and different interests. So
Well,
we're not stepping on each
As
other's
a
toes.
travel agent, you don't have to stay within your
No,
area
true.
anyway.
Yes, and I
You
do get
can-
people off,
Yeah.
social media that are not in Virginia.
Right.
You know, yeah.
And I'm sure there's different areas of expertise. Like
Yes,
someone might be
absolutely.
really good at Europe. You might be
Yes.
really good at the, Caribbean, so forth. So that's good
So
stuff.
true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any other questions?
I can't think of any. I do know that I have used Danielle, and I
Yes.
can say that she does a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
She really does.
Thank you, Michelle.
Awesome. Well,
So I think the only problem she had with me was when she asked me what my budget was. I said, "Well, I don't know. What's a trip going to cost?"
Yeah, I get that a lot. To be
Yeah.
honest, I do get that a lot.
So-
people don't know; they don't know what to
Right,
expect.
right. Well, and I
sometimes. Yeah.
think too, depending on what you're going to get, you may spend, whatever it is that you need to spend to
right
get
to
what
do
you
it.
want.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
right.
So true.
Danielle, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Yeah,
This
all
is
good
fun.
information.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And thanks for tuning in to the Real TFC podcast. The key to success is knowledge and relationships. So please like, share, and subscribe, and catch you on the next episode of the Real TFC podcast.